Have you guys ever wondered how massive some of these massively multiplayer online games are? Like, how many people are actually playing these games? I know I have. I know I've thought that so many times. How many of these games actually have tons and tons of players, or if they're still living, if they're still alive? Well, this list is actually going to be, well, kind of calculating only the biggest MMOs. We're going to see which multiplayer games are truly massively multiplayer. Now, we decided this list based off of not just the number of accounts, because that's totally not fair, especially for older games which have a ton of accounts. No, we're actually going to be doing this based on how many players you have direct interaction with. That is it. It is whatever game you feel. It gives the most game feel for population. So if there's a game that has 1 million accounts, but you can only play with 4 people at a time, that just doesn't count. We're going to favor games where you have direct interaction with. So with that being said, this is going to be the top 10 most popular MMOs for 2015. At number 10, we have Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is so low on this list because it is so similar to World of Warcraft, but it actually made it on this list because of its mimicry. You know, a lot of people came over to Star Wars: The Old Republic thinking that it would be just like World of Warcraft, all those really fun mechanics, and transferred over with a new skin, with the Star Wars storytelling. And yes, the storytelling was amazing. Its single-player and co-op experience is almost unrivaled. It's really good, but for a true MMO experience, it just did not deliver like World of Warcraft did. So, in that respect, that's why it's only number 10. At number 9, we have RuneScape, and basically the tragic fall of RuneScape occurred because it just showed its age and there just wasn't enough updates. Yes, it is still being updated and there's lots of quests and expansions and the graphical updates and fidelities, but basically RuneScape has had a huge schism recently with the fact that there's many veteran players who have voted for a classic mode. So now the game is essentially split in half, where people are playing the classic RuneScape versus playing RuneScape 3. So it's really weird and definitely got knocked down a couple of notches despite how many accounts it has and how open world it is. Because of that fact, it's now just number 9. Not too many other games make history books. EVE Online actually has the biggest battles. It's got one server, thousands of players on it, and at any one moment, pretty much who knows when, a clan could fight another clan and it could just break world records with the most amount of people in a digital freaking conflict, a video game conflict that could make history books. Seriously, EVE Online has some of the biggest experiences. Sad because it's only coming in bursts. You know, there's tons of empty space and a lot of time that needs to be spent on EVE Online to get to those moments, but when they happen, they are sweet and nothing short of epic. At number 7, we have PlanetSide 2, which for every fault that EVE Online has with pacing, PlanetSide 2 fixes it in trades. Yes, it doesn't have such a massive amount of potential, but still, PlanetSide 2 is a big game, and what's really important is that it's very consistent with that. You have consistent battles happening all over the place, climactic changes all over the terrain, all over the place. It's just a ton of people playing it. It's a very popular game. It's huge. You got giant battles. True, it is all PvP oriented, but there's a lot of PvP to be had. At number 6, we have ArcheAge, because it is an open world MMORPG. It is new, also, it had a lot of hype with it. It's a very colorful and unique game, a lot of open-endedness with this title. And it's also very social. It's a hugely social game, so it's really actually kind of surprising that it's not higher on this list, though I'm sure a lot of people can attest to the payment options that's in the Western release, but ArcheAge is still a good game, at least, and nobody can test that it's just purely popular. At number 5, we have Tera, and Tera has been a game that has slowly risen up the ranks with popularity ever since its release. It kind of dipped down a little bit, and then it had to go to free-to-play, but once it hit free-to-play and it became a fully free game, Tera freaking just took off like a locomotive and just hasn't stopped. It just recently released on Steam and instantaneously became the biggest free-to-play MMORPG on Steam. Seriously, Tera's big, constant updates, high amount of polish, it is very social, open world grinding of course, but with the recent Sky Castles update, all the PvP updates and the dungeon updates, overall, this game is really cool to go and build a guild or find a guild. Overall, there's just a lot of guilds in this game and it's a lot of fun to play with them. At number 4, we have Elder Scrolls Online, and Elder Scrolls Online is probably having a resurgence of popularity because of its drop of its subscription fee and also the console release, and overall, this game is a very fun game, highly polished, really well done. I couldn't say that whenever it released though, but Elder Scrolls Online does have a ton of content, luckily glitch-free now, or for the most part, and Elder Scrolls Online has really big world PvP. It's huge, fantastic, and also its open world content is really fun and very cooperative. And it's not too easy either, not too shabby. Elder Scrolls Online is a great, fantastic MMO experience. It's had some stumbles along the way, but I think more now than ever, Elder Scrolls Online is really going to start picking up the pace. At number 3, we have Guild Wars 2, which, just by hard facts, is one of the fastest growing MMOs out there. But a little bit more in-depth is that Guild Wars 2 makes it really easy to just group up with even random players and do hearts, or even do open world events, or even slay giant world bosses. It's really a hugely social game. Admittedly, its dungeons are a little lacking in the social aspect, but then again, the game is called Guild Wars. It is an esport. It is a very open and honest esport competitive title. It's got really popular PvP. And not only that, but the world versus world versus world is huge. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of players fighting together, contesting on the same terrain over a season with different rotating servers. And true, it's not the biggest MMO and pure account wise. You don't play with the most amount of people in any one area, but all in all, there's so much to do with so many people at so many different times and in so many varying different ways. Guild Wars 2 makes it at number 3. At number 2, we have Final Fantasy XIV, and yes, it had a huge hiccup whenever it first launched, but now we are in Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, and it's even getting an expansion. And the game's base was really meant to be a social game. That's absolutely what it was supposed to be, but now it's a little bit different, definitely more combat-oriented than it was before, but still, its heart and soul is the same. It is supposed to be an RPG over an MMO, and yet because of that, it's still massive. It's just got so many people playing, it's still role-playing all together in the same worlds that even other games that hold the title of massively multiplayer just can't compete with. And at number 1, if you guys didn't guess it, it's World of Warcraft. It's still the biggest MMO, and yes, it is losing people, it truly is. It won't be the king forever, maybe, but World of Warcraft is still the most massively multiplayer game. Not only does it have like the most accounts, but it's also still a greatly open world. Like I say greatly open world because it is a great open world. It is a huge, massive, multiple continents that you can go and explore in a variety of ways. On ground, through the water, on air. You can do so much in World of Warcraft also. Lots of mini games, tons and tons of dungeons, and overall just a lot of content to plow through in the World of Warcraft. We all know, we've all been there. It's a very nostalgic game, but if you haven't, you guys really missed out. But still, World of Warcraft is one of the most popular games out there. Some people are coming, a lot are going, but either way, it's just got the biggest population, and you just can't beat it. Not right now, maybe in a couple years. But God help us if it ever goes free to play. So that was the top 10. What do you guys think? Was there any games on here that would surprise you, that they aren't as popular anymore, or maybe that are still popular? Let me know in the comments below. And guys, keep in mind, the year is still going, and another year is going to follow that, and another. And just basically, there's going to be more MMOs always coming. Games come, games go, even though they are MMO. So keep looking forward to the horizons, and hopefully we'll see you along with us there. Like and subscribe if you want to stay notified on all the coolest video game stuff. Thanks for watching, and please come back, Attack. Welcome back, Attack. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 free-to-play MMOs for this year, for 2015, and I think across all the genres for free-to-plays, we've seen so much innovation in MOBAs, in MMOs, in card games. We've seen so many new things this past year, and hopefully, maybe, probably so, 2015 is going to be just as exciting.